jump on, we were talking about it at church in that, we love our kids and we're going to also spend time with our children on the nights we have with them, while they're under this roof. So, yeah, that's why it's 10:22. Anyway, that doesn't matter because as you rewatch this, you'll be like, what are these two talking about? It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't matter. So we just wanted to jump on again and do a bit of a
marriage strengthening thing.
Right. So we've been the last few weeks with these lives talking about it along that theme of just marriage strengthening, just sharing some of the things. This month we've been married 17 years.
Come on.
Our 17th
year.
Isn't
that great?
Yeah.
I think that's great.
It is great.
I'm happy about that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Of being married to each other. And yeah, like that in some ways it's like doesn't feel, it's like, what? Whoa.
Oh, heck.
You turn the computer
Partial
off.
blackout.
Why'd you do that?
Oh, because it was annoying me.
Yeah, but the light's connected to the computer.
Good point. Go on.
So, anyway, we've been married 17 years this month and still, have moments like this where I'm just like, why did you do that?
For dramatic effect.
That's great. So while that's rebooting,
go on.
I might do a little rebooting on my own. So
reboot.
We thought, why not share some of the excuse me.
Some of the stories.
Why not share some of
that
the
have
stories
bonded us closer together?
Some of the wisdom that we have acquired over these 17 years. Is that blue?
I don't know. Let's go with it.
Oh my god.
It's awesome. Yes,
living
some
with
of the
each other and
stories.
bearing one another's burdens.
Some of the stories that have bonded us closer together.
I think most of the stories.
Honeymoon stories.
Anyway.
Isn't that what we're going to base it around?
Why don't you share
my
version of this story, which will be totally bogus.
Do you want to share your version?
No, you start.
Should we
start, I'll come in.
I'll go out of the room. You share it from your perspective.
I'll come in halfway through when you start,
I think maybe I should leave,
about the details.
Leave the room. I'll leave the room. You share your story. And then we swap. And then we compare.
Anyway, why don't you start? What would you please?
Well, I thought it would be nice when my wife and I were first married because my wife had never seen snow. So to celebrate being married, we decided to go to New Zealand, which has a lot of snow. And so June, a lot of snow, winter,
Guaranteed
Southern Hemisphere.
To see it.
Yes.
Not like Australia.
And we went down there to Mount Hutt.
Which is nicknamed Mount Shut because it often snows so much there, it's just like...
It shuts.
Yeah, that's right.
So...
We went up there.
Yes, we did. Went up to Mount Hutt.
I always know when he's thirsty. There's this weird tell. Anyway.
And it was
went up
great.
To Mount Hutt. So it starts snowing. It's like you have to drive so far up this Mount Hutt. Like it feels like you're in an airplane. When you're driving up, you can pull over the side of the road. You're looking down and the fields are like it looks when you're in an airplane. So it was high.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow, like I've never been this high up in my life. And anyway, we get and it's nice weather and
Did
we
you
get
say
there.
high up so no one took a sound bite?
Yes. I was like, shit.
Pastor Lou was high. She says she's never been as high. Unbelievable. Anyway, we're up in the snow, and Lou had never been skiing before, and so
I was relying on my husband,
trusting,
who has actually been skiing several times. And so I was like, well, he'll he will know what to do. I will just be fine and trust my husband.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
And so we're like going towards the chairlifts to go up. Like I did a few runs on the baby slide, what do they call that?
Yeah, the magic carpet.
The magic carpet. So I'm like, oh yeah, Matt's like, oh, you totally got this. And I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, and Lou did. She was doing so well, turning like really well, snow plowing, coming to a stop.
Yeah,
like
on the kiddie.
She was learning the basics really well.
Yeah. So That was great. So Matt's like,
So I'm like, okay, let's go.
Chairlift.
Let's go up one of the lifts.
Right.
And they didn't have a map. Like there was no way to tell which chairlift went where.
Yeah, so really, that's,
and it was
that's poor.
It was a
on their behalf.
yeah. I'm trying to defend myself. So, but this is the truth. Both chairlifts went up into the cloud because there was cloud over the mountain, so you couldn't see where either chairlift was going. Both of them went up into the cloud, and I looked on one side. I could see people coming down pretty shallow, and then on the other side they were coming down pretty steep. So I was like, well, okay, let's go down. Let's go towards what looks like the more mellow slope.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
I went up that chairlift, and
what happened?
I don't know.
Oh, no.
And so we went to the chairlift to the right, and it was great. Went up, beautiful chairlift.
But little did he know.
Started snowing. It was amazing.
They did that.
They did do that.
They crossed over. So it was just
and turned out to be one of the longest chairlifts I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I was like, we're on a chairlift because I had no idea.
Went to the summit of the mountain.
He took me on a black run up high, and like I had no idea. I'm blissfully ignorant.
Yeah.
Snow's
Lou was
falling
happy.
on my
I'm
face.
freaking out. I'm like, oh no, this is so high. Like this is gonna be
Anyway, we get up there, and I'm like, far out. It's like a different weather up here. Like it's now we're in cloud. This is like I can't see anything in front of me. Like this is crazy. And so I'm like hiding, like going along this edge of this, like huddling the mountain because there's a drop on that side, and I'm like, oh my gosh, let's go over this way so we can get to where we get down.
Yeah, you didn't want to go near the steep part.
No, that steep part looks terrifying, and so we get to the edge part, and then guess what? That is where you go down.
The edge,
it's like the edge becomes, and it's like, come on,
the edge becomes the way down. People are just dropping in over the edge of this,
and they're flying past me like 5-year-olds are like they don't even care. I'm like, what? Taking me up here? And I flipped, like I freaked out. And so we were brand new married, and I was just like,
it was a good test.
You're trying to kill me. That's great. I'm on my honeymoon, and you're trying to kill me. He really did try to talk me down, and I just was like, no, I'm not listening. I have all the fear. Not going to trust you at all, and I'm just going to panic. And so I did. I threw my brain out, and I like took my skis off and sat down to try and like wriggle down. And he's telling me like, don't do it.
You'll slide, but it'll be okay. Like
I couldn't hear him.
I was like trying to say,
absolutely.
You're loose trying to just step down and like slowly wriggle down this.
Down my backside.
It would take 3 hours to go like 10 meters.
I did. In my brain, when I sat down, I took off at like 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I'm like,
tobogganing,
like sliding down this massive like embankment. And I think I'm going to die. Like I really, honestly thought this is it. This is how I go.
And I'm watching her just going, all that's going to happen, you just put your arms out. You'll go to about there. You'll stop, and you'll be fine.
But I didn't know yet, and I didn't have
first time in snow.
That's right.
So it was so unfamiliar to you.
Green. I didn't know, and he was, all the time your fault. I don't know. I mean, anyway, so that
good times.
That was a fun story. Like eventually, he had to get me to a point where, like, I remember you getting firm with me and being like, Lou.
Put your skis on.
And put your skis on. And when I heard that tone of voice, I was like, okay. And I just did what I was told.
Yeah.
And just put them on. And I mean, I was still like, well, I don't know. I'm just going to have to trust him here. Yeah. And I'm just like, so I put my skis on and then had to let him lead me down this mountain.
Yeah, because otherwise it would have taken 6 hours to get down.
We would have been rescued by helicopter.
Oh, it would have been bad.
And like, so, and as I did trust him though, it was fine. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we learned that you don't have to go straight down.
You can zigzag.
Straight down the slope. Yeah, you go from here over to there, and it's not so steep. And then I even had Lou take her skis off, turn around, and then put them back on, and then go down a bit shallow, and then take them off, and just kept zigzagging like that. So at no point were you facing down the mountain again.
Absolutely. And then,
and
like, the next day I was fine.
Relatively safe.
But at that point, like, I had to yield that trust to you.
Yeah.
Because I was in complete fear. And then that's what we wanted to talk about. Trust and fear, like how they're really linked. When you don't have trust, you have fear. Because you're like, well, that's it. I'm just like totally out, like I wasn't. But when I got to that point where I was like, okay, I'm just going to trust you, the fog lifted, the fear lifted, and then it's like, oh, okay, I know that he loves me, and he's just proved that he's actually not trying to kill me, even though I really thought he was. Just for a moment, like that love is there, like I can trust him because I know he loves me, and it's the same with our Father in heaven. Like we can trust him because we know he loves us. He's proven his love for us in sending Jesus to die on the cross for us. So he's proven, like, hey, I love you. So he's someone who's worth our trust.
Yeah.
And like, well, I mean, do you want me to read any scriptures?
Yeah. Well, that's Proverbs 31. But I'll say that's
precursor.
That's what trust is, such a valuable commodity in the marriage relationship. Like the husband needs to trust the wife, the wife needs to trust the husband for it to work properly. And I guess if it's been betrayed to a level, I guess a healthy fear of my wife deters me from wanting to betray the trust that she has in me.
Like fear of hurting each other.
Yeah.
Not wanting the relationship to be strained like that.
Absolutely.
Seriously, not talking about like genuinely fear, because obviously there are situations where people are fearing for their lives in their marriages, and that's not what we're talking about. But having it be like
I'm
that.
Not talking about that.
Yeah, because you always have to go hear what I'm saying, not what I'm not saying. But like, to have that part where like I don't want to be in bad relationship with you. I don't want to let you down. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to break that trust between each other, because I mean, obviously things have happened, we've been married 17 years, so things do happen, but you have to work through those things.
And if when the trust is strained,
that's where it's
you
tough.
have to work with each other to rebuild it. And that's not fun.
No. Like we always tell our kids, like when you break the wall of trust,
you have to rebuild it brick by brick.
Yeah, it's broken.
Samuel
in one
will put something
swoop.
in the dishwasher and go, Dad, was that a brick? I'm like, that was a granule of a brick.
No, that wasn't a brick.
That was a grain of sand in a brick.
That's right. Like when you
the wall of trust is built brick at a time.
Yeah, but when you break it, it's a glorious smash, like a wrecking ball. With Miley Cyrus on it. Boom, and it's just shattered.
Yeah.
And then you have to build it back brick by brick, and that takes time. So trust, not wanting to break that trust, having that healthy reverence for each other. And it's like so similar with us with the Lord, like not wanting to have that point where you break relationship with him, over anything. So
really.
Okay. So Proverbs 31 verse 10, who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life.
Very good. Her husband.
I read that one because men read that. Women get annoyed. I don't know why. Proverbs 31 verse 10, who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life.
She will greatly enrich his life.
That's
her
true.
Husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich. Having a greatly enriched life. Yes, trust is one of those keys.
Yeah, that's right. And so, I wrote down here, 1 John.
You'll be stuck up the slopes of Mount Hutt.
That's right.
Without trust.
Without trust, I'd still be there. I mean, I'd still be
frozen corpse in the wilderness.
If I hadn't have just gone, okay, I'll just trust you, and just yield that, whatever fear, yield all of it, and just go, okay, I'll just trust you.
Yeah.
And that's like that. 1 John 4:18 says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear has torment." It's not. It's not like fear and torment. Like fear has torment. That's just part of what it is. Fear has torment, but he who fears has not been made perfect in love. And so it's like that conundrum of like, we have to fear God, but no fear in love. It's, yeah, two different things. But won't get into that. But
the conundrum
of like, there is no fear in love, fear God, all of that kind of thing. So yeah, perfect love casts out fear. So like fear is intertwined with trust, like lack of trust. When we don't trust, there's fear, and then that has torment. And so that's a horrible situation to be in.
Yes.
And so I don't know, we would encourage all of you that are out there, if there's broken trust, yeah, like you have to rebuild that wall back brick by brick. Trust isn't something that you can demand from somebody. It's earned.
Yeah.
So in a relationship, in a marriage, like, yeah, you can't just be like, well, I'm your husband, so that's it, or I'm your wife, so that's it. Like there's work that is done. There's bricks to be built.
Yeah.
Yeah, in relationship to
maintain.
Yeah, maintain.
Buzzword. Because you have to add proper maintenance to it.
True.
Not just take it for granted and go, oh, it's okay. They have to. They're married to me.
That's right. Yeah, like you put on a good enough show for everybody else out in public, because, you know, but then you get in the car and the kids and you're just like, right now, this is happening, and then you just lay it all out because they're always going to be there. You know, you're taking them for granted for, you know, to just treat them however. That's not cool. That's not love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
What else did you want to say, Pastor Matt?
No, nothing else. I'm happy.
That's good. I hope that was a brief encouragement for people out there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, we do love you guys, and if there are issues that you guys would want to talk about further with us, you know, you can find us at Blake Street, Wilsonton Breakthrough Center.
Yes.
We're happy to help. We wanted to do these just because it's kind of like a preemptive strike against things. Like if people are going through stuff, like they don't necessarily want to come and talk about it, but this is helping people past, present, you know, not past, future, because we just watched Back to the Future, so I'm like, past is my buzzword. So helping people now and helping people in the future.
Helping elders, past, present.
Oh my God, that was so bad today, just by the way. That was terrible. So we genuinely do want to help people. So feel free to reach out if you've got stuff that you want to work through. We're happy to help. Right?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Do you want to ask people about anything else?
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, if you're in the Toowoomba area, just want to invite you to come to Breakthrough Center 6 p.m. Wednesday night. And when else?
Thursday, 9 a.m.
Yeah, that's right. If you're available Thursday, 9 a.m.
Till 12, roughly.
Or Sunday, 10 a.m. If you're anywhere around there, we've got Pastor Ted with us, and we'll have a great time, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
It's great.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next time.
Okay.